The first trailer for Avengers Doomsday just dropped, and it is blowing everyone's minds. Let's break down everything we saw in the footage, what the movie is really about, and why this is going to change the entire superhero universe forever. The trailer opens up in a very dark and mysterious way. We see Professor Charles Xavier sitting by a window in his old mansion, looking out as a blinding flash of bright light tears straight across the sky. He warns that something massive is coming and that the heroes will soon have to face a choice they cannot avoid. Right after that, we get our very first proper look at Robert Downey Jr. stepping into the shoes of Doctor Doom. He is wearing the classic metallic mask and green hood, looking completely fearless and completely dangerous. The trailer then moves at high speed, showing heroes from totally different worlds crashing into each other. We see martial arts action with Shang-Chi fighting Gambit. We see secret identities shifting when Mystique changes into Yelena Belova. The armies of Wakanda are shown facing off against Namor and his underwater forces. The brand new Fantastic Four show up, and we even catch a quick glance of Loki hanging out of the Time Variance Authority. Things get super emotional when Chris Hemsworth's Thor steps up to talk to all the gathered heroes. He tells them about past warriors who were much stronger than all of them combined, yet still ended up losing. He tells everyone to drop their petty fights and stand together as brothers and sisters because they're going to need a miracle to survive. And then the trailer delivers the ultimate shock. Thor confronts Doctor Doom face to face and tries to strike him with his powerful axe, Stormbreaker. But Doom casually stops the weapon using just 2 fingers, showing everyone that he is way more powerful than Thanos ever was. Just when all hope seems lost, Thor hears a familiar voice and gasps that it is not possible. Out steps Steve Rogers, making his epic return to the Avengers, walking up and casually catching the Hammer Mjolnir. Now, what is this movie actually about? Avengers Doomsday deals with an existential crisis known as incursions. This means that separate universes are starting to crash directly into each other. If 2 worlds collide, at least one of them gets completely wiped out. The main conflict happens because 3 distinct realities are hurtling toward each other on a fatal collision course. The main Marvel universe, where the standard Avengers and Wakandans live, the universe belonging to the Fantastic Four, and the classic X-Men universe. Into this chaos steps Doctor Doom. Instead of just being a regular bad guy trying to take over a single city or country, Doom is tied directly to the breaking of the multiverse. The heroes from these separate dimensions are forced to team up whether they like it or not, because if they do not stop the crashing realities and defeat Doom, every single universe will cease to exist. The possible outcome points straight toward total multiversal collapse, paving the way for the creation of a massive patchwork planet where remnants of different worlds try to survive. Think back to the emotional ending of Avengers Endgame. The heroes won against Thanos, but at a massive cost. Tony Stark gave his life using the Infinity Stones, and Steve Rogers took it upon himself to travel back through time to return every stone to its exact moment, so he wouldn't break the timeline. But instead of coming straight back to the present, Steve made a choice that changed everything. He decided to stay in the past to live a full life with Peggy Carter. At the time, we thought it was just a sweet, peaceful retirement for a hero who deserved it. But looking at Avengers Doomsday, that single choice is actually the exact spark that lit the fuse for the end of the world. How did it start? It all comes down to breaking the rules of the universe. When Steve chose to stay in an alternate timeline and live out decades there, he introduced an anomaly. Bending time and altering reality like that didn't just stay neatly tucked away. Over time, those tiny ripples grew into massive waves. By meddling with timelines and jumping across dimensions, the barrier holding separate universes apart began to weaken. This brings us directly to the core reason why Endgame leads right into Doomsday. Incursions. An incursion happens when two separate universes start bleeding into each other because the space-time continuum has been stretched too far. Because the multiverse was cracked open, first by the Infinity Stones being ripped through time in Endgame, then by Sylvie killing He Who Remains, and further pushed by reality-hopping adventures. Entire worlds are now on a fatal collision course that in Doomsday. We see the painful consequences of this. Three distinct realities. The main universe where the remaining Avengers live, the universe belonging to the brand new Fantastic Four, and the classic X-Men universe, are hurtling toward each other. If these worlds crash, everyone dies. Into this catastrophic mess steps Doctor Doom. While Thanos wanted to wipe out half of life to save resources, Doom's motivations are tied directly to the survival or domination of these dying multiverses. Because the timeline was left fractured after Endgame, Doom finds a way to exploit the dying barriers between dimensions. He positions himself not just as a conqueror, but as an inescapable product of a broken reality. The reasons why the heroes are completely unprepared go back to Endgame as well. When the original Avengers disbanded, died, or retired, the universe lost its unified shield. Thor went off-world, Tony is gone, and Steve grew old in a hidden timeline. When the incursions start happening, Earth's new defenders, like Sam Wilson's Captain America, the Thunderbolts, and Shang-Chi, are left scrambling to fight a multiversal war without the cohesive teamwork of the past. The ultimate connection is that Endgame thought it achieved peace by closing one book, but it actually left the door wide open for a much darker chapter. The time travel mechanics that save a universe in Endgame are the exact tools that broke the multiverse, paving the road straight to Doomsday. Now, old legends like Steve Rogers are being dragged out of retirement because the sins of yesterday's time travel have finally caught up with them. If you want to stay updated on all things Marvel and see how this massive story unfolds, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. What happens if Doctor Doom actually wins? And what does the world look like if the heroes somehow manage to stop him? Here is the extended script, written in simple words with no titles or subtitles for a seamless, continuous voiceover read, that we have talked about the trailer. And we have talked about how Avengers Endgame set all of this in motion. But now we need to look at the terrifying core of the entire conflict. What happens next? And what are the actual consequences depending on how this war ends? When you look at a villain like Doctor Doom, this is not just about someone wanting to take over a single country or rule over Earth like past enemies. This is a battle for the very fabric of existence. The choices being made right now carry consequences that will reshape reality itself, and the stakes are split into two completely different paths. What happens if the heroes win, and what happens if Doom wins? Let us start with the first scenario. What happens if Doctor Doom is defeated by the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four? At first glance, you might think that defeating Doom means everything goes back to normal. The universe is saved, and our heroes get to go home. But because of how badly the multiverse was already broken, a simple victory is not actually possible. That if Doom is stopped and his grand plan is dismantled before he can complete it, the immediate consequence is that the incursions do not stop. Remember, those worlds are already on a fatal collision course because the timeline barriers have been stretched to their absolute limit. Defeating Doom without a replacement plan means the multiverse keeps collapsing in on itself. Entire realities, including the main Marvel universe, would crash into each other and disintegrate into absolute nothingness. And they bow down to Doom as their ultimate, unquestioned God and Emperor. Nobody remembers who they used to be. Nobody remembers their old families, their past victories, or the universes they came from. Doom becomes the sole master of time, space, and memory, ruling over a peaceful but entirely fake reality where he is the absolute savior. This is why Avengers Doomsday is so dangerous. It is not just a standard superhero slugfest where punching the bad guy harder fixes the problem. Whether Doom wins or loses, the current universe, as everyone knows, it is completely doomed. If he wins, individuality and free will are erased under a false god. If he loses, reality itself risks tearing apart into a void of nothingness unless a miracle happens. The heroes are walking into a trap where every single choice they make carries a heavy price, and the consequences of this single event will echo across cinematic history for years to come. The cast for this movie is massive, bringing together actors and characters from across cinematic history. Robert Downey Jr. plays Dr. Doom, the terrifying mastermind behind the multiversal war. Chris Hemsworth returns as Thor, acting as the emotional backbone and leader trying to unite everyone. Chris Evans makes his stunning comeback as Steve Rogers, bringing back hope when things look completely dark. Anthony Mackie leads the main Avengers team as the new Captain America, while Sebastian Stan leads the new Avengers group alongside Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova and Wyatt Russell's U.S. agent. We also have the Fantastic Four squad jumping into the mix, starring Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Eben Moss-Backrack. On top of all that, classic mutant heroes from the X-Men movies, like Patrick Stewart's Professor Xavier and characters like Cyclops and Magneto, join forces with other heroes like Simu Liu's Shang-Chi and the people of Wakanda. This movie is shaping up to be the biggest crossover event in film history, and it is all leading up to a massive conclusion when it hits theaters on December 18th, 2026. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on any future movie updates. Avengers Doomsday's 3-hour plot finally explained in 12 minutes. This video provides an additional detailed breakdown of the plot leaks, character dynamics, and multiversal events leading up to Avengers Doomsday.